Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Amazon Step Function, which is a console that you can create different state machines that runs consecutive steps one after another. So there are components that are necessary for a step machine to function, which are, first of all, we need to have the Amazon batch job definitions created, as we have discussed in previous videos that we have created already, the batch job definitions. So here we can see batch jobs such as SAM tool, BCF tools, and BWA that are created. Here we can see information about these batch job, and more specifically the container image that we have assigned to this batch job, as well as the number of virtual CPUs and then the memory assigned to it. Here you can see the command, the way that it is invoked, the commands that need to be invoked, and then the reference, name of the reference, sample ID, and where you can find the input, and where you can put the output after the batch job is finished. I want to also show you that where this container image reside. It resides in ECS. In ECS console. So if you navigate to ECS, you can find it here. The place that everything that is that takes care of containers and managing the containers. In ECS console, you can navigate to Amazon ECR or Elastic Container Repository, where all of your containers are stored. And one little thing that I would like to show you is that any of these containers, how you would push new container images and new versions of your container there is quite easy. If you just click on this view push commands, there are instructions that you can use to push new images to ECR, and you need to have Amazon CLI installed on your local machine. You need to have Docker. Naturally, you need to have Docker installed on your local machine, and then after building your Docker image and tagging it, you can basically just push it to the to Amazon ECR. So that's where the images reside. And next, I would also like to show you that my FASTQ file that I would like to file the variants and call the variants reside in an S3 bucket that I created. Creating an S3 bucket is really straightforward. You can just come here and create with a certain name, and then there's a really nice and easy wizard for it that you can create your S3 bucket, that you can put your data there. So back to step machine from a segue that we took to show you guys that what needs to be there for a step machine to work. Uh, I want to go ahead and create a new step machine that is really simple, that doesn't need much, and talk about the creation, step machine creation and scripting a little bit. So here we can see that can add a comment here. Okay, can't forget about that for now. But the way that the state machine is formatted is quite straightforward. It looks like this. I'll comment with capital C. You can give a description to your step machine, and you would have to define a list of states that can take place consecutively, and you must always start with the first state, and then the last state must have the end true written in it. And also conditions are creating conditions are also possible using this choices block, that you can compare a variable and decide which step go to next, which is quite straightforward to create. One little handy tool that can be used in state machine is this generate code snippet. From here you can access OS batch definition. So one thing you can do, that you can enter a job name. Let's just go with the suggestion and put my job here. And here you can either select the job definition from a list, or write your own job definition, or specify the job definition at the runtime. We're going to go ahead and choose the select from the list. And from the list we can see that we can choose these batch jobs that we have defined. For example, I'm going to choose this BWA as just as an example, and also select the job queue. There are also similar options as before, but we're going to select job queue from a list. It will give us available job queues that are there. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one, and also other options are available, which is retrying or including try catch, which you can include here, define your errors, and how many retries you want to occur, or what step do you want to go next to. We're going to just forget about that for now, and then copy the clipboard. So we can include these states in this block of states. Just put a comma here. Naturally, this doesn't work because the end is not the last block. So we have to switch these. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this and put it here. And replace it with this next that we had there. It is still complaining because this should refer to this my job. So I'm just going to replace this with my job. Oh, there's a space that shouldn't exist. This is really handy that it can it tells you if you are making a mistake. So if I refresh this little nifty tool that is on the right that shows the workflow to show the workflow composition, and you must choose a name for your step function or step machine to be more exact. And here in this wizard, after creating this, you can go ahead and hit next. And here, of course, you have to either create an IAM role or choose an existing IAM role. And we have discussed about this before. The IAM role must be capable of handling EC2 instances and also handling and accessing the batch jobs. So I'm going to cancel this and not create this step machine and go back to a step machine that I have already created. This step genomics workflow, which I have it already open here. I have had many tries to get it running, and the last 3 was successful. So if I click on one of those, you can see that it went through all these steps. I'm going to run another time this workflow just for demo purposes. Here, if I just hit a new execution, I can just input variables that are needed. So just to take a look at the code of this workflow, you can see that the same structure is also here. Resources that are assigned here are the submitting job type and the job name, and also the job definition, which is referring to the batch job that we created before, and the job queue that is a variable, parameters that need to be passed, and also the container overrides. They can all be passed to this block, and the next step will come after that, and so on. So really simple structure. So if you just keep in mind this, if I can just split the screen and put these two together. We can take a look at the new execution that can happen. So if I go ahead and hit this new execution, you can see that I have defined here these parameters. The $sign is basically the input entry to the JSON block, and With dot, we can just access the lower levels of the JSON block. For those of you that you're not familiar with this, you're not familiar with the JSON format, you can access lower levels of JSON with dot. So basically, here we have assigned this BWA mem, sorry, in the BWA mem parameters, which are passed here. You can see that in BWM mem parameters, the reference prefix, these are all the parameters that are passed here. The reference prefix, reference name, and sample ID, input and output, and also the command that is going to run, and the amount of resources that we are going to request. So, and also you can define it, define the run name for debugging purposes. We can just if we can just go ahead and hit the start execution button, you can see that the execution starts. There are places where you can trace the progress of the execution, such as the Oz batch console. So if we go to the dashboard, we can see that to the queue that we assigned, there is a job that is waiting for resources to be assigned to it. And you can see the job description by just clicking on the link. And of course, this has not generated any logs because it's not running. When it starts to run, you can see it here. And then if it succeeds, it goes here, and it fails, it goes here. And succeeded jobs can be traced in the CloudWatch. Which you can have timely log based on what happened and what has happened and taken care of in a timely manner. So that's one place that you can use for debugging. And also, if you navigate to ECS, in the cluster that is related to your queue. So these are the computation environment that you have created before, and it's assigned to your queue. So if you just navigate to the compute environment that you have created, when the job is running, but it's still not running, when the job starts running and is given resources, we go to do it here. So in the batch, you can see if the job has started. Of course, you can see it also here that this says the task has been submitted, so it's not running yet, and it should be. Oh. So apparently it has started, it's running. While it is running, you can of course follow it up in the watch cloud, and to see timely logs, and also in the ECS you can navigate to the computer environment that is assigned to the queue that is running the job, and you can see that the EC can see that the EC2 instance is running. Just by clicking on that, you can go there and see that's just a container instance. You can go to the EC2 instance to check the status of the EC2. You can see that there is no error or any alarming thing to see. There is one thing that you need to take care of is the ECS agent that you need to update. It's as easy as just clicking on this and update the agent here. Just not going to do it. Of course, you can also do it through the CLI. You can see this this little nifty tool that shows the progress of your step machine, which is really nice. And you can follow it up. And if we also take a look at the S3 bucket, that we have assigned as the output, you can see that the results are being generated. That's it. Thank you.